I really hate when people try to question my intelligence. My intelligence isn't like a genius in just one different aspect of life. The whole notion of, if you didn't go to college, you're uneducated. I am highly educated. Might not be highly educated in one specific area, which that is how people make. That's how people make a lot of money if you're really good in this one specific area. But the problem is if everybody else is good in the same area as well, and that's what. Like, look, I can sit here and learn how to figure something out, and be specialized like anybody else. The thing is, it's just sitting down and putting the effort in. And like I said before, it's hard to figure out, like, where are we going? Like, what should I invest my time and money in? Because, like, it's not just like I'm going to college and then that's it. Now I'm going to be like highly educated. No, man, that's not how it works. A lot of people don't, like, they just go to college and they tell themselves, I'll just figure it out when I get there. And that's like the dumbest thing to do. Especially like now, even though I'm an old man, kind of young old man. I'm an old man, dude. I'm mid-40s. I'm old. But the fact that, like, I don't know what I was talking about. I lose track of thinking, man. I go on to another topic. It's hard for me to stay on one topic, but that's why it's like hard for me to. I want to specialize in one thing because it's hard for me just to stay focused on one task. Even at work, man, I'm like automated at work. I pretty much automated my job because it's so boring, and that's what I do with these manual labor jobs. I just pretty much automate myself, and I'm thinking of other things. Like, for instance, when I was, stamping out parts, one of the most mind-numbing, boring jobs. You just stand there. You put a piece of metal in the die. You hit the machine, the button on the machine, so it presses it. And then once it goes up, you take that part out and you put in a new piece of metal to form another piece. And you just keep doing it. That's all you do. It's just so repetitive and boring. But I thought of a lot of good ideas. That's how I have to do it. It's like I gotta rely on my subconscious mind. Like, I rely on my subconscious mind a lot. And I think a lot of people, like, think about when you're driving to work or wherever. You don't even have to think. You could just, like, let your mind be on autopilot where you're thinking of something else, and then, like, you could run the car. You're basically like a drone just driving your car. It's automated. Because, like, you take the same route every time. You do the same thing every time. So you don't even have to think about it anymore. Now, if you're, like, going to work, like, your first day and you don't know the area well, and yeah, you're going to be on high alert, but eventually when you figure out a good path to work, you could pretty much automate your fucking commute. And that's what I've done. Is you can't really automate it if you have to stop a lot, but like if you have a smooth sailing all the way to work, like right now I'm completely automated in driving. I don't even have to look at the road that much. I pretty much stay in my lane. I can look at other things, think about other things, because I've completely automated this. I know it sounds weird. But I'm so used to multitasking. And I was thinking about this at work today. Doing my one, I was only there for like a half an hour and I took off. Stomach's not really working with me that well today. So, I was thinking like, okay, this is why men, you want to know why men don't open up and say their feelings? Because nobody really gives a fuck. The only time people will give a fuck about men's feelings is if infrastructure starts failing. Like, hypothetically, if we continue this route, right, and you have the baby boomers retiring, so you have less workers that are qualified. For instance, like, people like me definitely should be, like, supervising people. I should not be doing manual labor. I'm doing it right now because I don't want to move up in the company I'm at, and I've burnt those bridges. But I can move up in another company. I would rather be a supervisor of like a small group as opposed to like a group of 15 or 20 people. So at some point, so like now that I know that I'm staying here, I'm not moving to Idaho, or I don't have any other place I'm even thinking about going into. So I'm possibly, what I'll probably do is move to Ohio if the state Michigan turns completely blue. Like, if this is a completely blue state, that, you know, I can't really go into depth with YouTube, so I'm gonna have to move to Ohio. Somebody who respects my rights a little bit more than the progressives. They don't respect your rights. They don't respect the Constitution. If they had it their way, they would take away all of our guns. They would get rid of all free speech. So any type of platform would be gone that's free speech. Which I'm not sure they can ever get rid of X. Because Elon has Starlink. Okay, think about this. Elon has Starlink. So, in order to get rid of the internet, we would have to, like, the governments would have to work with all the cable companies, any of the phone companies, and completely get rid of it altogether. And they were talking about this the other day. Tim Pool was going back to how we used to have it, where everything was just a couple stations on TV. That's all you had for entertainment, was just TV. You know, there won't be no more YouTube. There won't be no more social media. I personally don't want to go back to those days. I recognize that YouTube is a big problem. These social media sites are big problems. I liked how YouTube was back in the day, when it's basically like Rumble. Rumble is basically how YouTube used to be, where it's pretty much a free-for-all, but it's just like when the ad play, what they need to do is like organize these ads into like conglomerates where, okay, these ads are safe for this type of rhetoric or this type of language. These are G-rated ads. These are PG-13 ads. These are rated R ads, and these are rated X ads. So rated X means you don't give a shit. The person could be saying racist stuff. The person could be saying, it could be pornography. It's just like anything that's legal As long as it's legal, it's good to go. So it's like, yeah, like possibly like if I had a company, right, I would want my ads, like, you could run my ads on whatever, I don't care. If somebody's racist, doesn't mean I'm racist. Which it comes into a slippery slope, because like then I'm funding racist people. Well, like, where do you stop with that? Like the whole like working, if they fight, like if you're at your job, right, and you're racist, and then like everyone finds out that you're racist, do you get fired? Does the work fire you? And you're not racist at work, it's just like you're at a party or something outside of work and you say something stupid because you're drinking or whatever, and then they go back to work and they say, oh man, that dude's racist. Or like they post it on their social media and then everyone from work sees it, and like you didn't even post it on your social media. So does that person get fired? And what do we do with racist people? Like, is there no room to like, should we just like get rid of these people? You know what I mean? That's like, do you just like do it to like throw them in gulags and even worse? I really have to censor myself on what I want to talk about. It's like, what do you do with these people? You know, I just put on my ad warning. Just put a warning like I don't what I represent in this ad, it doesn't represent what these people are saying. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to push my product to everybody. I want my product to go to everybody. I don't want it to be to a specific group. So like, I want everyone to buy my stuff, and that's what people should do. What in this if you have like a conservative type of business, like I think you could thrive in that type of atmosphere. In this type of atmosphere, if like you came out with a conservative toothpaste, or like these conservatives that are YouTubers, they all sell coffee, so they just like, not only are they competing in the coffee brand fiasco wars or whatever, but they're also competing with views. So it's like, why don't you just come out with a toothpaste or like a shampoo or some type of like product that's an everyday product, like a cleaning product, and put your name on it and try to distribute that stuff to go against the machine. You know what I mean? It's just like, is coffee like the cheapest thing? Like, I mean, we all have everyday needs, right? Like soap. Come on with the soap. You know, it's like, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, right now, we have rich versus poor. That's how the political climate is set up. Like, J-Lo is endorsing Kamala. She just came out endorsing Kamala. Now, what does that mean? You got Taylor Swift. Yes, of course, you got rich people supporting Trump, and Trump is a rich person. So like, what we have right now is such a weird time, because like, technically Trump is not punk rock. Technically he is establishment, but he's anti-machine and establishment. Yes, he comes from money. Yes, he's a well-off person. He probably takes a dump in a golden toilet, a diamond toilet, whatever. But and then like, what they're trying to peddle is like Kamala came from a middle class. Okay, that's cool. Like, how long ago? Like, people forget where they come from. And like the vice president, oh, people relate to him, he's relatable, but who cares, man? I don't care how the common man relates to a vice president or president, like, I'm never going to meet them. I'm never going to meet Trump. Like, I'm never going to have a conversation with Trump. So what do I care? You know what I care? How is he going to run the country? How are we going to look on the world stage to compare to everyone else? Are we going to look weak and feckless? Or are we going to look strong and be the supreme leader that we're supposed to be? Like, we are the #1 country. We are the epitome of, like, empire. Like, we are. No one else is. I don't care who they are. China is starting to rival us or whatever. We have our currency is the #1 currency as of right now. Do I like? Is the long term going to be a good currency? I don't think so. But yes, we could technically, we could technically, like, probably, like, influence countries to make it so our currency is the one that they use. They abandon their current currency. Like, hypothetically, every single one of our allies should be using our currency. They should be all using our currency. If you're not using our currency for your currency, then you're not an ally. You're not a part of our system. You're not a part. Like, you're just, like, why are we giving you money? Like, this is the whole thing. We got all these bases in all these countries that aren't even on this continent. How much does it cost to keep maintaining them? Why don't we sell these bases? Why don't we hand them off? Like, how much does it cost to keep running them? That's why our military, it costs so much to fund our military, because we have all these bases that we're keeping up and running for no reason. We should be promoting peace instead of building bombs. We should be building rockets. We should be building huge technology that can further civilization and end poverty and lack of resources for everybody. We should be creating technology that creates abundance for everybody if they want it. If they don't want it, they want to be like an Amish type of civilization or country, whatever, cool. They don't have to have, like, abundant food. Like, maybe people like that type. I personally, I don't like it. I don't like having to go and work a job doing infrastructure. I would rather be spending my time in a creative type of manner, whether coming up with ideas or what have you. Like, my thing is, I think I'm gonna go away from making videos and more towards making a journal, like a daily journal, and then I'm just gonna publish it into different books. That's what I think I'm gonna do. when I get so much of it, I'm just gonna publish it, and then, like, because I don't care. I can go into depth with my thoughts, my thinking, and another thing too is, like, people will be able to see how much my writing has improved from my first book to with my journals. Me being on X has improved my grammar a lot. I have a way higher vocabulary because of all the different books I've listened to. Seeing how people type, autocorrect helping me with different grammar aspects. AI, see what I mean? AI is going to take all the jobs. Like, we're not gonna, like, teaching, like, AI is gonna teach us. What is all this, man? Damn. Anyway, so, like, I don't like doing this. I would rather, which I'm thinking about, like, leasing a car. Rent it. First off, like, well, my insurance is gonna go up, but, like, I don't care about owning a car. Like, if I own a car, I would like it to be like an old car I can work on anytime. In a house, which I don't have. So what the fuck do I need to own a car? I would rather a self-driving car just come and pick me up for a couple credits, take me wherever I gotta go, however many miles, and then bill me on like on the credits, the carbon credits or whatever. Like some self-driving Tesla just pick me up and take me where I gotta go. Whatever. Because I hate driving. I hate the responsibility of driving. Driving is such a, like, oh, it's independent. Yeah. Like, there's so much responsibility that comes with it when it comes to car insurance. You know, like right now they're flooding the country with illegals. And then, like, I don't know how these people are getting driver's licenses. But they don't drive the same as, like, here as they drive in their own country. So I've seen it where, like, it's a free-for-all. There's no traffic signs, no traffic lights, anything like that. And they come here and they don't know the rules. They just, like, start driving. And then they get into accidents, and it raises my rates. Like, my rates go up because of all these people coming here causing accidents. So it's like, I don't even want car insurance. I don't want to have to worry about getting a registration every year for my car. I think it's absurd. I hate to have to worry about maintaining my vehicle. Do I sound like a complainer, man? I don't care. I don't like it. Oh, it's a manly thing for me to be driving. Oh, masculine. So masculine. But I don't care. Like, I seriously don't care about driving. I think it's absurd. I think it's and it's so busy, too. I'm sure driving was a lot cooler back in the 60s or 70s or whatever, when there wasn't so many people on the road. Like, yeah, it was probably pretty cool back then. But now, since, like, there's so many people on the road, everywhere you go, it's like you have to sit in line and wait. And I sound like a complaint. It was just like, yeah, I don't like driving. I don't like the responsibility. I think it's boring. Like, what I'm in right now, just like, I have to be continuously observant of my surroundings. I have to start and stop, I hate this driving. I don't. And this is how it is. This is how it is. Like, driving in the city and all that. It's dumb. But yeah, I'm definitely like, I feel like I'm probably really progressive. I'm one of the most progressive Trump supporters out here. People mistake me from, like, even being a communist. I'm not a communist, but people would mistake me for that because I do believe in some type of universal base income. Not right now. I would like our jobs to come back here and people to get off of welfare, and us get to the point where we're advancing technology where we don't have to have these jobs anymore. Think about it. Like, when I had a family, right? I did the traditional thing, man. I went to work, provided for the family. I got to the point where I was just a single dad and I had full custody and all that. But I didn't feel like doing anything, man. I didn't feel like coming home and, like, spending time with the kids. I was tired, man. Like, how many households have to deal with this where the dad comes home, he don't have the energy to do anything. The woman's complaining because she can't spend time with her man. And then he's tired. He don't want to go nowhere. He don't want to do nothing. Jesus Christ, man. This is crazy. You gotta follow this dumb truck. But like, yeah, because he's got to do some manual labor job where he probably doesn't even get paid that well. It's so weird how, like, and I think this is gonna flip, but it's crazy how this is the bubble. This is the bubble everyone is the financial cliff. The financial cliff is seeing all these white collar workers get laid off from their jobs because their jobs become obsolete. And these workers are going to have to come down and do the jobs that we have to do. They're so entitled. They're not used to working. So it's going to be really difficult. Why I say that is because, like, AI is going to take over a lot of jobs. It's going to take over so many jobs. It's unbelievable how many. The next 5 years, man, it's going to replace a lot of jobs. Because, like, think about this. This is what nobody talks about. This is why I've said before. If we make AI so good, which I think AI is going to get so good where it will actually run the government for us. It's so good where you don't have to replace everybody, but like you can replace a lot of people when it comes to systems, where it's just like the systems are just completely automated. You don't have people manually going in having to do stuff because AI is so sophisticated it can just run different systems and different like setting up schedules, like shipping schedules, or creating like the best schedule for people. Like people request how much time they want off, and it creates the best schedule to get as many people there as possible. You'll have like a type of a police type of policing, but these people will mostly be on the floor, and the supervisors, they won't have to be in the office. They'll actually be out there doing the work, and that's how it should be. And they should be out doing the work with us, but handling any extras. Anything that obviously they would need, like a receptionist or some type of anyway, they would need to have some type of communications to like the head people, whoever, like maybe the CEO, or they just input stuff that you can't do without, you gotta manually put stuff in. It's pretty easy. Like, I think we're gonna get to the point where it's like, I've called off before, like, okay, I don't really ever use the internet for any I use the phone to talk to my credit card companies to see like balances. I don't because I don't care about making a username and more passwords. Like, I already have enough of that. So I usually just call up my company and I figure my finances out like by that, and I never have to talk to anyone, so it's completely automated, so I'm just talking to a machine. And that's pretty much everything. Like a receptionist at a doctor's office, like, what's the point? Like, all they need to know is some basic information and see if you can fit you in for like a schedule or whatever. Well, you can have that be transparent on the internet. You can see what schedules are open, and like you can have that done. Like, the receptionists are gonna be completely replaced, man. You don't need them. What do you need them for? We can we can input our schedules, like for a doctor's visit. I see their schedule, and I can just be like, okay, I wanna come in for this date. I see this opening. There's an opening. Then you can have like cues for it, like, you know, possibly put me on a sooner date if one opens up. You know, you don't need receptionists. You don't need people to answer phones. Most places, you talk to an automated service before you even get to anybody. Most places. I don't even pick up my phone anymore. If I don't recognize the number, I don't expect anybody to call me. So, like, there's no point. I can see it right there. I don't recognize the number, so I'm not going to answer it. I don't know who the fuck that is. It's probably some scammer. Probably, yeah. And you know how many, like, scams I get with my... These things are so annoying. Scam calls. It even says, like, probably scam. But... yeah, like, so many of these jobs we can honestly we can just replace right now. You check in, you go to the doctor's office, you check in, like at the little kiosk. You don't even need to have a person there. Oh, okay, you checked in, blah 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 blah. You already fill all your paperwork out on the internet, so you don't have to fill nothing out. Like, sure, there's probably like a computer somewhere right there, like that you can fill your paperwork out if you need to, right there. But you don't need paperwork. We don't even need papers. Like the whole thing of like junk mail, like, it's just ridiculous. Why I still get junk mail is unbelievable. Like mailing letters. What's the point? What is the point? I don't need a bill, a physical bill. I just need something. Send me something to my email. That's it. That's my address. So many of these things we can just get rid of. These jobs that, like, I've heard there's like 5% of our jobs, they don't even do nothing. And these people get paid a lot of money just being an office person. Oh, like, dude, it's not that hard to be an office person, man. It really isn't. It's harder having to deal with people on a daily basis. And the whole thing too, like, oh, we gotta come back to work. We gotta bring everyone back to work. Man. For what? Why do I need to come back to work if my job has nothing to do? I'll come in for a meeting, but why do I have to be there if I can do my job at home and I'm being productive? Why the hell do I have to go into work? What is the point? I'm not seeing, like, what the point. Man, I can't even park over here. It's pretty busy. It's because it's Saturday. I'm supposed to be at work right now. But why? And the thing is too, these people that are remote workers, like, who's to say that somebody in a different part of the world can't do your job for you? So, like, yeah, you can be all gung-ho about remote work and all that. But what happens if somebody in a different country, like, can do your job for you? What's the point? What's the point of having to go to work? What's the point of this person here in America having this job when he can have somebody in a different country doing that job too? So, like, we still need people to do manual labor, and these people who do manual labor are being looked down on, and I think in our society is going to flip. I think that people who do hard work, do manual labor, keep this infrastructure moving forward. I think that they're going to be looked at like kind of like a banking executive gets looked at right now, in the very near future. That's why I think it's apparent to learn some skills, some like my kid wants to be a plumber, like something like that, electrician, anything that has to do with maintaining our systems. Besides just doing the manual job. So if these people will be rewarded, and they're the ones that's keeping this infrastructure moving forward. Because like right now, I think the whole worship of celebrity is fading. I think celebrities are pretty cringe, to be honest, because like pretty much, man, like everyone already feels like a celebrity. If you have social media, you might not be like a gigantic celebrity, but you could be like on a small scale. Like me, I'm on a miniature scale, and people think that I'm an influencer because I have so many followers on X, but it's like everyone already is a basically their own like version of a celebrity. So like these big massive celebrities like J-Lo or whoever, nobody cares. Like they just seem cringe. There's no relatability. These people are ultra wealthy. Like I don't relate to you at all. I don't care that you're famous, that you made some good songs in the past, you made some good movies. I don't care. Cool. But what have you done lately? Like who cares? Like there's so much entertainment out here that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like anybody can entertain. Back in the day, we had to rely on a few companies to entertain us. Back before I was born, the channels were like, they had like 3 or 4 channels. So there was only a couple of channels, and people would like to go to the movies and stuff like that to be entertained. Well, dude, this device I'm recording this on, I don't have any special equipment. I've never bought any type of special equipment for anything that I've made. And that's punk rock as hell, man. Do it yourself. Very minimal. Very minimal. So the thing is, these ultra famous celebrities, which they do have cred. I'm not saying that they don't have cred, but people are just going to start rejecting them because of their horrible political views. Like if J-Lo was to come out and endorse Trump, that would be like, or Taylor Swift, that would be like, wait, these people aren't sellouts. These people are against the system. These people are anti-establishment. But you can see like look at Dick Cheney is supporting Kamala. He's warmonger. You can see all these elites who profit off of war, who profit off of the propaganda that they spew to us to keep us in control, to keep us in line. And like I said in a different video, the easiest way to find propaganda is when they all say the same word, the same message, the exact same thing. Because they're basically lying or manipulating the truth in some type of way. And they want to say it over and over and over and over and over again, even though you know that it's not true. Because you can see with your own eyes. It's just like 1984. 2 + 2 is 5. The guy in the story, he was like 2 + 2 is 4. So then they had to start using like well, in the book it was they his biggest fear, they use your biggest fears against you. It was a hungry rat, and they put this cage around his head, and they were about to, you know, put the rat in there. So what do you think the rat's gonna do to the guy's head? Yeah, that's probably not a fun way to do things. So like, yeah, eventually he's like, okay, fine, 2 + 2 is 5. And he knows if he ever was to go against the machine, some type of torturous thing, like this is how they used to control people back in the day. These kings, this is how they stayed in power, because I guarantee you they had a lot of people that were pissed at them. How they stayed in power is they used these horrific ways to torture humans in a public display, so people knew not to act out, to not rebel against them, because that would happen to them. So the most diabolical ways that people can perish or to use to keep people in line. It's kind of like the death penalty, how that's used to try to keep people in line. Which the death penalty, or like, you know, going to some of these other countries where they go ahead and take some of your limbs for like stealing or whatever. It's what, this is how I like to see it. I would like us to have some type of an island where you can't get off of. I like the whole no escape thing. Ray Liotta, look at that movie. I like that aspect where we send people who are bad people, who have done like the most despicable things that you can do, and just send them there. But they can't get off. Like, they can't get off the island. And we could send them rations or whatever, but they have to figure out how to survive on themselves. There's no like prison system. Like, the whole prison system is a joke. It's a straight up joke. It's like for profit. And they want, like, I guarantee you, if they made marijuana legal, there would be so many people that are in prison that won't be in prison no more. So you're not going to need as many guards. You're not going to get as much funding from the government because you have less people, less population. So like, that's why the Dems haven't made marijuana legal. They'll flirt with it. Like, they're progressive when it suits them. You know, it's kind of like when people are like, how can you, I listened to Owen Schroyer. Yes, Owen Schroyer yesterday, talking about this, like the way the progressive leftist thinks is, oh, this sounds good, it sounds awesome, but like, it destroys their neighbor. They don't care until it affects them, then they'll care. So like, they'll vote in something, be completely ignorant to anything, like knowing what it's about and how it affect their common man, and they don't care because they're not affected by it. That's why so many of them are saying like, this economy is great, and then you got people in my sphere saying this economy is horrible. It's hard out here. Oh crap, look at the corn's all the way up. Maybe I should go in the cornfield. Children of the corn. But yeah, there's a lot of changes that we need to make as a society. We can't just keep on doing what we're doing. I hope that it's not like a societal collapse. I think that it'll be I don't think that America have a complete societal collapse, but I do think that different places will collapse. Like for instance, if you rely on the government, think about it. You rely on the government. Any day now, they can just, what the fuck? Huh. Any day now, they could just like take your welfare away without even telling you. Just like, it's gone, we ran out. We ran out. You don't have no welfare anymore. It is what it is. Well, now since you completely rely on the government, what happens? Well, you don't have no food. You can't go buy more food because you don't have the government. So it's just like the people who are completely reliant on the government are really risking, like, you know how much, right now, for me to be independent is not to say that I can even get any government assistance, even if I wanted to. There's an airfield right back here. It's pretty cool. Anyway, even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to anyway because I'm a guy. But it's kind of weird how it's like a direct slap in the face to house these illegals and put us last while stealing from me too. At the same time, like, I just look at taxing as stealing because they're not doing anything good that benefits me. There's some things, like, yeah, police, fire, but the roads are terrible. Them importing more people, just like flooding our communities with people who aren't adjusted. And the whole point of like legal immigration is to like learn about the country before you, like, how stupid of it and arrogant of me to be just like go to another country. Let's just say Philippines. Let's just say, you know what? I'm gonna say I'm done with this. Okay. I'm done with this life. I'm gonna just pay everything off and I'm moving to the Philippines. I'm not gonna have anything there, but I want a different life than I have right now. Well, what happens if like they don't speak my language, they don't speak English, and I just expect them to learn my language? And I don't assimilate. I don't go with their customs. I go the exact opposite. I don't try to go into their culture. So how arrogant of me. And then I expect them to pay for me. I expect to get government benefits from them. Like, how ridiculous is that? And I went there illegally. I didn't even like get a passport. I just like flew somewhere, hopped aboard a ship, and then just like swam. You know what I mean? Or stole a boat or whatever. I'm in the country now. I'm there illegally. And now I expect the government to take care of me. It's a slap in the face to anyone there. Like, if I'm gonna do that, I want to bring up the community. I don't want to take from the community. I don't want to start off by breaking their laws By, like, what other country can you just go to and just be like, oh, I'm a citizen now? Like, you can't. I'm just gonna go and vote. Like, this is what I would like to see, our voting system. I don't think there's any reason why we can't have a one-day voting system. One day, obviously the people who are going to be out of town during that day can do the mail-in, whatever, they sign up for it. But it can't just be like, oh, I just don't feel like going to the polls. Everyone should have to go, unless, like I said, you're going to be out of the country. Maybe it usually was for like soldiers who are not going to be here, they're overseas. That's what it was mostly set up for, not just like the regular people to get a ballot just sent to them and then they go drop it off. But I would like there to be like, so for instance, I moved from Washington State to Missouri. Now I'm in Michigan. Well, I mean, take me off of the voter rolls. Like, soon, like, just wipe. I should have to register every 2 years, whatever, that I'm gonna vote in this election. They should just wipe it clean every year. Just wipe it clean, and then you need an ID. You need an ID to vote. My personal opinion, I like the whole text net voter system, or like you have to, if you are on welfare, you shouldn't be able to vote. I don't know what to tell you. Then be off of welfare. Do something with yourself. You're not contributing anything to society, you're just taking. So you shouldn't be able to have a vote. Now, obviously, if I'm married and I'm not on a welfare system, my wife gets to vote with me. You know? But yeah, I just think it's we can have more, especially like, so people don't have to be like, oh, there's dead people voting, or that just seems like shady. Like, if you're trying to rig elections, there should be harsh penalties for that. If you're trying to deceive people, I don't know. I just think that that's kind of ridiculous. You can't have a fair voting system. We can't even have a, like, how are we supposed to have any, see, I don't even know if I'm probably going to have this taken down because I'm talking. That's what I would like, is just a one-day voting system, how we used to do it. Just do it on the paper ballots or whatever. That way, so we don't have to worry. So there's no speculation like, hey, what happens if that happened? Or, no, let's just make it, it should be simple, easy. You know, they used to do it all in one day. There's no reason why we can't do it. Just, I think, give everyone a day off of work. Like, that's a national day. Every 4 years is a national holiday. Voting for the president. Not to say that our vote really doesn't matter anyway. Because, like, it's the states that decide who, if they're gonna go ahead and say, oh yep, Biden is president, or Trump, or whoever. Anyway, it's just like, I want our society to progress to something better, and I think we were, especially in the 90s. Now there's all this like talk of the racial divide is crazy, and I think that's being perpetuated by the mainstream media. It's like they're trying to, like, it's like they want some type of revolution, they want some type of civil war, they want some type of race war, what have. It's like the government and the mainstream media, they want us to be at war with each other. When I'm at war with them, I'm at war with the machine, because the machine is corrupt. I see past the lies, I see past the propaganda. I see what the machine is doing for self-interest, like corrupt politicians. The whole idea of maybe I'll get banned from YouTube for this. That's cool. I can, like I said, I think I'm probably gonna start making journal. I'm just gonna journal, and what happens with the journal is, like, I have good ideas too that I can document. You know how many ideas I have throughout the day that I just forget, whether it's culture or what have you. I think that's what I should do though, and I think that'll help my writing skills out even more so. So yeah, see, I think instead of making like videos, I think I'm just gonna go more towards just journals. I'll still make videos, but the censorship is unreal, man. It's really crazy. I can just go publish books really easily. It's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult with the technology we have right now. The fact that I've published my own books, I've published my own music, my own videos, my own content. I don't have anybody working for me. I do everything myself. That just shows people, like, you don't need some big company. The problem is, here's my problem, is the marketing. I was hoping maybe somebody will be like, oh, let's bring this guy up. But that's the only thing. Like, what I'm doing, what a lot of people are doing, you know, like, they get their content creator, they're a live streamer. They're independent. Me, I'm completely independent. Completely independent. I guarantee you, if I actually had some clout, I would have some big names, big organizations coming to me, either trying to like do ads, or foreign governments trying to pay me to push propaganda because I got the platform. So yeah, like, I wish we could just, you know, we lived in fairy tale land and everything was all like joy, like the left likes to say and act like. I wish it was like that, man. That would be really cool, but it's not. Not even close. So this video might get me kicked off of YouTube though. I wonder if it does. Like, this is why I don't post. Like that they took down my video. Just because I just want to talk, man. I'm not getting promoted. You don't have to put. I'm not even getting put in the algorithm. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. Who cares if I'm like saying things about certain subjects? It's called YouTube, right? This is my channel. Why do you care? I know that they want to make money. I know that's what it is. But like, maybe you should change the name of this then. This isn't YouTube, it's RTube. Maybe you should change the name to that. Because it's definitely not YouTube anymore. That would be Rumble. Rumble would be YouTube. And I do think that YouTube does serve a purpose. I like, you know, instructional videos. I think those are really good. I like to listen to different speakers, you know, lectures, podcasts. It definitely has like a good feel for it, and I know they gotta make money, but like, dude, like, there's no reason why you can't just be like X. There's no reason. It's because they are compromised. Like this, YouTube is compromised by Google, these big companies that don't, like Alphabet, these big huge companies that are basically parasites, and they just like absorb all these other companies. They might not even know anything about the industry at all, or even care. They don't even do nothing with the company. They just bought it, and now they own it. It's like, this is why I think there should be a limit to how much power somebody has. Like Elon, you know, I'm all about the technology he's building, but I know, well, let's just say if he did have email, a phone, and I went to X for everything, which would be awesome. I would like just to go to one place for everything. How Facebook could have been, but obviously you can't talk about certain things there either, so it's just kind of pointless for me. Yeah, there's no reason why YouTube should be taking down people's stuff. It should be just like Rumble. It should just be just like how it used to be. Promote the big stuff, whatever. Go ahead. Take me out of the algorithm. I don't care. But here's the thing. I'm paying for storage with it being free. That's what people don't understand. These social media sites are just basically storage systems. So for instance, if it's free, well, it costs them, they're getting their money from some way. Like, okay, my data, they're using my data. Cool, man. Make your money and let me get a cut of that. Let me get a cut of my data, which I don't know if it's that much, but you get enough people, if it's only a couple pennies, it's gonna add up. Say 1 billion people, you gotta, and you're using all their data. Well, a couple pennies, you know what I'm saying? Which obviously they make more than a couple pennies a year off of our data, but they also use ads and stuff like that. But you know, like, okay, so like I would do ads, obviously, if I had a foothold in anything or any type of fame. But how I would do ads is I wouldn't make my videos where I just stop. I think it's so annoying when you're listening to something and then it's just like this old school way of doing things of, oh, we're just gonna stop the conversation. That's why I like the Timcast, is because they change subjects, but they keep the conversation going. They don't have to stop for a fucking break. So for an ad. So, well, there's other ways to show ads. You can just show them. Show them, just pop up on my screen. You know, there's ways to do it besides just me sitting here talking about some product for like 2 minutes. And it just ruins the video. I'm like trying to, anytime this happens, I skip through it. Like, I don't care about the product that they're trying to peddle. I don't care about intros. Like, this whole intros thing is so stupid too. People who put intros on their videos. For what? Like, for what, dude? This isn't a TV show, man. Like, that was cool back in the day, but this is not back in the day. Putting it, you do a quick intro of like 2 seconds, okay, whatever. When people got like 30-second intros, like, are you serious, man? Like, who the hell's gonna sit there and listen to your stuff for 30 seconds? Nobody. This one I like is Cappy. He put a minute long. It's like, what are you doing, you fucking boomer? Like, seriously. I just find out where he stops this stupid crap, and then I start the video. It's just like, it's just dumb, man. Just dumb. I think that we can do a lot better with society. I think that we need some type of off ramp from the dollar. I don't like it. I think that's just too much debt. That's too much debt. 35 trillion, 36 trillion. And I will say this too. Trump didn't have the high interest rates that we have now. And I don't even think they're that high. Isn't it kind of weird how the government can have such low interest rates for all those years? And, you know, like credit cards can issue out. I don't think credit cards should be able to issue out more than the interest rate of the Federal Reserve. I don't think that people should be able to get, like, I think there should be a cap on that. People say that's communism. There should definitely, like, there should be a cap on how high they can raise the interest. It needs to be more aligned with our government, with our own financial system. So since it's a part of the financial system, and I know this might be wrong, and somebody else can come up and be like, "Oh, this is why." Well, you're a communist. Well, definitely not a communist. I just want things to be fair, and perhaps people shouldn't be getting credit that are irresponsible, and then there are people who are responsible should probably get more credit. Like me, I probably should get more credit. My credit score should be way higher for the simple fact that I've never even had a bankruptcy, and I'm maintaining what I have. I'm maintaining the fees I have. I'm maintaining this. I pay my utility bills, my rent. That should go into my credit. Like, why the hell does that not go into my credit? How does that not affect me? Me paying my registration every year, how does that not go into my credit? Oh, it's just credit cards and loans and banks, and that's it. I'm not even that opposed to like a social credit score, as long as it's like that when you have like it shouldn't limit you to where you can go unless you like broke the law. Unless you broke the law, then they start cutting you off. But like, yeah, I mean, if you're out here saying hateful things, or obviously like the whole felony thing is like, you have a felony for the rest of your life, and some things are kind of like, well, why is that a felony? You know, it's hard to get a job. It's hard to come back from that, and like that's just on your. It's hard to come out here in prison and try to have a regular life with a felony on your record. Like, nobody's gonna hire you. You see, like nobody, like not a respectable company or whatever, but having some type of like social credit score, not so much with speech, but like with all the other stuff I'm talking about, how that doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. I pay my car insurance every go around, how I'm paying all this and I don't get credit for it. My taxes, like why is it only based off of that? It should be based off of everything put together, because I'm maintaining all of my bills. I'm maintaining my car payment, everything. My cable, internet, I'm maintaining that. Like, why do I not get credit for that? That's what I'm saying, is like, it doesn't even make sense. It's too like narrow. It needs to be broader based. I guess they assume that you have a bad credit score, like you're gonna maintain those stuff anyway first before you do your credit. Like, if you come into hard times, obviously you're gonna stop paying your credit card bills first. Maybe that's why, but then they can have different levels. Like, it should be a determining factor. Maybe it's not that huge of a factor that I pay those bills, but it should show up on my credit score that, like, yeah, I'm an established person. I've been maintaining my life for this many years, like, yeah, my credit score should be higher, and like maybe we can do something with his which I'm looking into, like debt consolidation, because I don't want to sell my assets. But what I'm thinking, what I'm probably going to end up having to do is just have 2 jobs. That's what I'm going to be transitioning into. The thing is, I want to figure out what's happening with this election, how hard left Michigan becomes, because if it becomes hard left, I'm going to have to move to Ohio, because they respect my rights a little bit more. And I'm going to get another job. I'm not just going to keep this job I have. I'm going to go get a second job, which I've never had technically a second establishment type of job. So that's going to be interesting. I don't want to do no Uber Eats or any of that crap. I'm going to try to have two full-time, because like, what else am I going to do with my time? You know, I don't have a wife. I don't have a girlfriend. Obviously, financial is a big problem right now. My debt, it needs to come down, so I need to be more financially strong. I don't feel financially strong. I feel like I get by, and I need to be a little bit more strong financially. And I was hoping, that, and it might still, but because gold is all-time high, I guess it's finally moving up. But I was thinking crypto might go, but it still could. That'd be so cool if it just like went up by like a couple 100,000. I'd be happy with that. I wouldn't sell all my crypto, but I'd sell a little bit of it, you know, like that's what I was hoping for. Maybe I could take some winnings, as opposed to losses, like with BlackRock, not BlackRock, but BlockFi. It's still my crypto, man. I can't even get whatever settlement I'm supposed to be able to. I can't even get the cash. It's like $2,000. Like, cool. It's another loss. Another loss. It's like, my frustration is like, I'm trying to escape the rat race. I'm trying to do it in a very unconventional way, not just nose to the grindstone, working multiple manual labor jobs, which I'm gonna have to do. But like, oh man, that'd be cool. Like, this was a good investment. Boom. I mean, it has been. I could sell my crypto right now, no doubt. No doubt I could sell it. But and I could wipe most of my debt off too. But then what do I have for my retirement? I got nothing. And I think that is, I look at my crypto like I look at like a normal person would look at the 401k. That's how I look at my crypto. It's a savings account. And I know it's unconventional. It sounds weird because people don't understand technology. This is what makes me different from everybody, because when I talk to someone my age, it's almost like me talking to like a boomer. It's so funny because of all the stuff I know. I'm like a Gen Z when it comes to technology and this and that. I'm like Gen Z. And it's kind of weird, me being an old man like I am, being through what I have been and being able to relate to Gen Z, because like, I was always isolated, whether it was self-inflicted isolation, kind of like what I'm doing right now. Like, the isolation I'm doing right now is pretty much self-inflicted. I distance myself from people highly right now. Don't even want to date like I used to. Man, I used to date a lot. And I could. There's no doubt about it. I could scam these single moms. Like, if I wanted to, honestly, I can do myself up and then pretend to be somebody I'm not, like I always did before. And instead of doing it for like the fun of it, like, not really, it's kind of like my attitude was, we'll see what happens. See, like, you know, see if something will work. Maybe it won't work. Whatever. There's no, like, if you don't want to sleep with me, cool. Like, we don't have to have any obligations or nothing like that. Like, I can do that easily right now. I know it sounds weird, but I could just go and bang single moms. Like, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be a part of that anymore. I don't want to be a part of that hookup culture anymore. I think it's degenerate. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good for me as a man. Like, oh, red pill, oh, it's different. Yeah. But then you start looking at women less than. When you come to this side, you start, like, man, you start thinking, well, is she gonna do this? Like, is she like all the rest? Like, and that sucks to have to, like, think like that, like, overthinking. For no reason. But it's hard to trust people, man. It's hard for women to trust men. It's hard for men to trust women. And that's where we're at right now. How long is this video? Okay. It's hard for us to trust each other. So that's why we are where we're at. Men are worried about, she only like me for my money. Women are, she only like me for my body, for my looks, that's it. And that's why we're at where we're at. And if we continue this society, then at some point you have to make prostitution legal. That's the way it goes. And I think that it should be legal in certain parts if they want it. Obviously the government would be part of the pimp. The government would get tax money from, but don't they get tax money from pornos anyway? Like, the porno is basically just prostitution. But that's okay. Why? Because it's behind a camera. Like, you're paying these people to perform sexually explicit acts. They're being paid to do it. So, like, they're prostitutes. Just like the OnlyFans girl, they're basically prostitutes. They're not like, oh, I'm just gonna go to this establishment or whatever. No, like, if that's legal, then I think prostitution. But some places it should be left up to the states. This is what I'm saying. It should be left up to the states. And, like, leaving it up to the states, it's a great experiment. It's like, let's see how well, like, okay, you want to do communism? Then do it in California. Let's see how well it works out there. You know? Before we take it on as a nation, let's see how they do it here. Well, they got 9-month abortions. All up until birth in, like, 7 states. I heard it's 9 now. And then, like, 20 states, they have the opposite, where they have it outright banned, I guess. Well, it's a great social experiment. Let's see whose society looks better. How does this affect the society? Instead of being like, oh, this is blanket, like, everything is just, like, federal. Like, this country's way too big to do that. Like, you can do that at a small level with, like a state. Like, I think California and Texas should be split up, and Florida as well. Any big states like that need to be split up. And I don't think Alaska needs to. It's just not populated enough. But these other states, they need to be split up into others. They need to be taken off into other different states. They shouldn't have, like, well, California shouldn't have 54 electoral votes just because they have so many people. Like, plenty of these red counties don't want to be a part of them. So, like, you can still go by population, but these counties should be able to secede from the states very easily. It shouldn't be, the state shouldn't be able to say anything. Like, if you're not going to represent the people, if your political ideology is completely different than people that you are relying on taxpayer dollars from, farming communities, whatever, Like, you don't represent them, man. So like, you're just you're basically an oligarchy. You're you know what I mean? It's just like, it's like whatever we have right now is some type of like oligarchy type of system that they're trying to transform it into. It's really sad that they've taken. It's really sad that it's gotten to be like this. Really, pretty sad. But yeah, I think there's a lot of changes that we can make for the good, and there's obviously like some that are just like, see if it works. If it don't work, then that's not, make it on a federal scale or a global scale. The whole idea of globalization is good. Like, I think it's cool to be able to talk to someone from a different country or whatever. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that people are, I think a lot of people are just like over socialized. Not even just because, not even just in person, but on the internet too. I heard somebody say, who you're online is like who you really are. Like, who you are on X is who you are in real life. Because like, we go to work or something, you gotta pretend like you're all nice, and you know, people say, hey, how you doing? Like, somebody was to walk past me right now, you know, they're gonna say hey, and then like I'm gonna say hi or whatever to be friendly, when I really don't give a fuck and they don't give a shit either. It's just like to interact. Like, if I was to be my true authentic self all the time, which honestly I have been for the most part, so I just like avoid people. So if I just want to be by myself because I want to be myself, then I look at women right now like, what are you gonna take from me? What do you, like, it's not necessarily what are you gonna add, because they can always add something, but it's just like, am I gonna be able to put up with that? Have you taken this from me? Am I gonna, do I have to negotiate this? I'll have a girlfriend and whatever. I'll have where I live and she has where she lives, and that's how it's gonna be. Can't live underneath one roof anymore. Like, can't trust people, and that's why people aren't getting married. I think that marriage is a good thing. I think that there's some laws that need to be tweaked. I don't think that people should just like getting divorced. I think there should be loopholes, not loopholes, but like, you have to jump fences to get divorced. You have to try to make it work, especially you got kids, man. If you got kids, dude, and I'm a hypocrite for saying this, but like, if you got kids, you probably should try to work it out. But unless it's something toxic, you know, unless like there's some type of drug abuse, physical abuse, cheating, anything like that. Cheating is emotional abuse. So if there's any type of like serious emotional abuse, like constantly putting somebody down, or maybe that's even a little bit too much, but like JD Vance, I think he's like, oh, women should stay with their men if they're like getting hit or whatever. Like, no, they shouldn't. And then the kids will learn that and they end up doing that themselves, or they end up putting up with it with themselves. No, that should not be allowed. Like, adults shouldn't be hitting each other, especially around kids. I think that kids are a huge responsibility, and I think that there's certain prominent figures like Elon Musk who doesn't really spend much time with his kids. How could he? Who are trying to tell people to have kids. Tim Pool's telling people to have kids. He doesn't even have any kids. It's a huge responsibility, and if our society goes the way of the rat experiment, then it does. If humans die out in a whimper, then we do. I personally don't think that will happen. I think that a lot of humans will decrease in the future, but at some point humans might become, there might be a great environment in the future. And this is why I tell my kids, like, just hold off to having kids right now. Just hold off for right now. Because number one, they can, but like there might be a huge population, another boom in the future. In the near future, no, it's not smart. Not only like we might go to World War III, not only that, but like financially, everything is just like deteriorating. So why would you, unless like you have money and you have like property away from this society that is becoming more and more degenerate. It's like some type of like the Disney type of mentality, like innocence, but it's warped, but it's completely warped. I think that most people are just like, they just don't care. A lot of people are fatigued. It takes a lot to be up to date with everything that's happening, because so much, like, think about it, like there could have been 3 possible attempts on Trump's life. 3 attempts. That's crazy. That's crazy. And it's kind of like not a big deal. It's just like, let's just say if they try it again, which they probably will, which everyone's saying, like, they're gonna try it again, they're gonna do it again. Like, we basically know that they're gonna try it again. Somebody's gonna try to take Trump out, and it's kind of like, that's a good thing. Like, who cares? Like, that's what fascism is. When you try to kill your political opponent, that is fascism. So like, all these people who are advocates for, you know, Trump to be taken out, or they wish he would have been taken, they are fascist. And then they'll say, oh, you don't know what fascism, tell me the definition. And then it'll say like one word, like, oh, right-leaning, because of fucking Adolf Hitler back in the day. Like, ideologies can reform, they can transform. Religions have done this. What do you think Christianity has done? What do you think, like, what do you think Christianity is, or Islam is? Like, it's a reformed religions off of the original Judaism. off of that one, the Old Testament. So they think that even religions are just going to stay the same. Even definitions are changing, and these people are the ones that are changing definitions. So they think, like, this definition can't change. Fascism is always going to be right. No one on the left can ever be a fascist, because it says right here you have to be right-leaning. It's absolutely absurd. You could be a communist and be right-leaning, be conservative. Like, these are just systems, man. They're just systems. So that's it.